Hi there, welcome. I'm Diane, one of 5 awesome optimists. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have a fun story to share with you it was just a gift that came, and I do hope that it's okay that I share it. Please, I hope it's okay that I share it because it was something that happened many, many years ago, and I really do think that it could bless many, many lives if I do share it. And so I did ask permission, and so I just want to preface what I'm going to share with that. Okay, now you can see behind me, I have all my high school yearbooks behind me. I got 84, 83, and I know I always hate to say how old I am, but I'm never actually going to say how old I am. There's my letter. I got 2 letters for being in high school, and the social networking, the Facebook, the Twitter, if you're not doing that, you really, really are missing out. There is just a plethora of enriching opportunities that await you for opening up your life to that. And I don't mean becoming obsessed and letting it take over your life. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about putting yourself in a situation that people can connect with you. Sign up, do it today. It's so easy. And I know that for other reasons, like my grandpa connects with all of his grandkids, who we all have busy lives and stuff, and we would love to go say hi, grandpa, and how you doing, but we just can't do that. He lives in a whole nother state, and so he's able to keep in touch with us via Facebook. How awesome is that? Okay, so the reason I'm telling you that is because I connected with us, in addition to many of my fellow high school alumni. Hello, my fellow Walnut High School graduates. I also connected with several of my teachers, and one of that was connected with one of my other teachers, one from junior high, one from high school. Mrs. Corcoran, hello. Mr. Sismondo, hello. All these years have gone by, and what an honor it is for me to let you know how amazing your impact was on me. So that's just another little thing. One of the people that both of them were connected to was what I thought was one of my other teachers. I think he was my history teacher in high school. And so I clicked a little add friend, and I got back a lovely, lovely note from his son. And his name was Mr. Isett. And the son's name was Mr. Isett, and I think one was Jack, and one was John, and I couldn't remember how many years have gone by. It's a lot, but something fascinating unfolded, and I am back in my hometown that I grew up in. After a whole loop-de-loop of different things, I am back here, and I can actually see Walnut High School, where I graduated, from my bedroom window. So it's a really interesting feeling. It's very comforting. Lots of things have changed in the decades that I've been gone, and lots of things have stayed the same. But so John and I had the occasion to go for a little walk around Gartell, that whole little loop where all the athletes would go running and practicing and doing all that other stuff. But as we were walking along through the back parts of Gartell, if you know Walnut at all, it's just this old windy road that has a lot of hidden houses and stuff. And he told me this wonderful story, and that was sort of the background for me to get to where I'm getting to. And he told the story about being in his father's classroom, how the office called and said, Mr. Isett, some people are here from the California State Board, and they want to observe a teacher teaching, and we want to send them to your classroom. Is that okay? Sure, send them on over. So what do you have, 10 seconds notice? 10 seconds notice. But let me tell you what kind of a man this man was, who later ended up becoming the mayor of Walnut. And that's a whole nother story. But this particular story has led him a place in Walnut history. I love it. I never knew it before. Okay, so here it is. On the way for the people from the California State Board of Teaching to come and observe him, he said to his students very calmly, They're coming in here. We're going to review chapter 3. Well, we have already done chapter 3. I know. That's why we're going to review it, because I know we've already gone through it, and I know most of you know it, so that you'll all look like you know what you're doing. And he said, I'm going to ask some questions, and if you know the answer, I want you to raise your right hand. And if you don't know the answer, I want you to raise your left hand. So, what does that look like? A whole class of participators! So he's asking the questions, and sure enough, all the hands went up. All the hands. And, you know, they were so impressed. They got great marks for the amazing quality of teaching at Walnut High School. And Mr. Isett went down in history for that one incident. Imagine one split second like that can change your whole life. It is never too late to be caught doing something magnificent. And for the view of the people who were watching, how amazing to walk into a classroom and see everybody participating. And so that's what my message is today on being optimistic. Show up. Participate. Do not be an observer. When you're in a situation, suit up in full gear. This is not the Little League. This is the World Series. This is your life. Suit up to win, and you will. Always participate. And I love, there's one of the scriptures in the Old Testament, the prophet Isaiah, he does that too, where he says, here am I, send me. I love that. Raise your hand. As a teacher, you know, I love it when students volunteer. That's like a signal. I'm ready for more enlightenment. Don't be nervous. Raise your hand. Participate. So that is my message today on our 5 awesome optimists. Wasn't that a fun story? Thank you, Mr. Isett, for making that possible, that I could share that with as many people as I can today with this global audience. And although your voice, he has since passed away, and that story was an amazing story too. And his son let me know that the police officers who were escorting them through the funeral procession said they've never seen so many people. So here's a man who touched the lives of who knows how many thousands of people for how many generations. And they've actually erected a little stone monument thing with his name on it, and that's what it says. Raise your right hand, raise your left hand. Anyway, something like that. I have to go see it again just to make sure. But I thank you to Mr. Isett's son for sharing that little story with me, and also to Mr. Isett for leaving a legacy of showing people what it's like to participate, whether you know the answer or not. Raise your right hand if you know. Raise your left hand if you don't. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Dianne, one of 5 awesome optimists.